Inshallah, we are continuing from where we stopped in the previous lesson. If you can remember, we were looking at Al-Manaru to the Haddas, and now we got to the part 2 of it, and then we stop at this particular point. So this is where we are continuing without wasting much time. So the author continued by saying, so let's just recap. If you can remember, we got to this point where he says that خلف الشاه جهان ابنه السلطان الأروق الزيب المكير وهو الرجل هذا البيت الرشيد. And so this Jahangir, this Shah Jahan, he was replaced by his son, who was Al-Aruq Al-Mankir, Al-Zaib Al-Mankir. And then فَأَمَرَ بِالتَّنْوِينِ الْفِقْهِ, he was a righteous person, if you can remember. So that's why he says أَمَرَ بِالتَّنْوِينِ الْفِقْهِ. He commanded that hadith should be documented وأبطل المكوس والمظالم عن المسلمين وضرب الجزية المشركين ونصب المحتسبين وأقام دولة العلوم والدين. So this was where we stopped. So we are continuing from there. The Sheikh says that وَمِنْ سُوءِ حَظِّ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. So this person, he did a great job. This Aruq Al-Mankir, he did a great work in terms of religion. The man, he was trying to bring back religion to the country, to the state, and so he did a great job. But something happened, and that's what we are seeing here. And so the author says, "Women su ihazil Muslimin," and among the unluckiest part of the Muslim, su is evil. Su is actually evil, something bad. But hazun is a share, portion. Okay, portion of something is called hazun. So if I say hazi, my portion. Okay, so it's an expression. Su ihazil Muslimin is an expression to mean the unluckiest portion, part of the Muslims. Fi hazal bilad, in this country, anna khulafa Aruq, that those who took over from Aruq, okay, lam yakunu rijalan akfa'an fi din wa siyasiyah. They weren't enough. They weren't people who were capable, people who were competent in religion and politics. So this Aruq al-Mankir, he was someone who was a political person at the same time a religious figure. I don't know whether you get me. So he was he was learned in both. He had grounding in both religion and then politics. But after him, those who took over, they were just political figures. Merely they didn't know how to run the country very well and establishing and following the rules that Allah and His Messenger has put in place. So these people, that's what he says. فَأَصْبَحَتِ السِّيَاسِيَةِ هَزْلًا. Hazl is a joke. So like Allah says, إِنَّهُ لَقَوْلٌ فَصْلٌ وَمَا هُوَ بِالْهَزْلِ. You know, the Quran, Allah is talking about the Quran. The Quran is not a joke. Allah says it's not a joke. It's a decisive speech. It's something that is to separate between truth and falsehood. It's not something to be taken as joke. So hazl is something that you take for jokes. Okay, so فَأَصْبَحَتْ سِيَاسِيَةِ هَزْلًا. And so politics became a joke after him. People just took over and then they were doing whatever they want. And even today we see it in Islamic countries, you know, where people who are not competent, people who are not supposed to be ruling Islamic countries, they are ruling Islamic countries, unfortunately. And the Prophet has already prophesied this. The Prophet says that during the end of time, this is what is going to be happening. People who are not supposed to be occupying positions, people who are not supposed to be ruling Islamic countries, they will be ruling Islamic countries. And that's what is happening. And so Muslims are suffering, you know. So for أصبحت السياسة هزلا, and politics became a joke. والدولة الأوبا, and the country became a joke. والأوبا is something that you play with. Okay, ملوك يحكمون صباحا ويقتلون مساء. Kings who were ruling in the daytime, and at night or evening they were being killed. Meaning people were just killing one another to occupy the position. Their aim is to protect their kingship, their monarchy, to protect it in their family. That's what they are thinking about. They don't care about Islam, you know. And so they were killing for one another just to occupy the positions, you know. وَيُسْتَبْدَلُونَ كَالْخُلْقَانِ مِنَ السِّيَاءِ. You know something, when the Prophet was not there again, when the Prophet passed away, and so they were debating who should become the next Khalifa, the first Khalifa, you know. one of the proposal, Abu Bakr made a proposal to Umar, radiallahu anhu. He told Umar, that you lead us, the man be the Khalifa, since the Prophet is no more. Umar cried, Umar nearly cried. He said that I would rather like my head to be cut off rather than to lead a people in which there is Abu Bakr. Subhanallah. But Umar said this. I would rather love my head to be cut off rather than to lead people among whom Abu Bakr is. So he knew his position. This was someone who was afraid. This man, he's scared of standing in front of Allah. You know, this is not just something that we take and then he occupy the position and then I am now the this, I am now the this. No, he look at the taklif, the responsibilities that this thing comes with, and you have to answer all in front of Allah, whether you took it how it should be or not. So these were people who Umar, like, even after Abu Bakr, Umar he didn't want to take the Khalifa. He was afraid. But this was someone who we all know, you know. There was also someone when Shaitan comes in front of him, he has to disappear. Shaitan fears Umar. We all know the iman that Umar had, but still, he saw himself to be incapable of ruling the Muslims. But look at today. People who you can't even, how do I see it? Our Islam, our religion is fluctuating. Our iman is just like that. I mean, our attention and then our care and love for Islam is not something that is something that isn't there, but we are yearning to occupy positions that are Islamically related, to occupy and rule Islamic countries. Subhanallah. So that's what he's saying here. And then they were being changed. They were being replaced. Khulqan is the plural of khalaq, which means a worn-out shirt. So they were being replaced like a worn-out shirt. You see when you wear a shirt and then it is worn out, you simply remove it and change another one, throw it away and change another one. So that was how kings were being replaced. Why? They were killing one another to occupy the position. Then he says that وَلَا أُضِيعُ وَقْتَكَ الثَّمِينَ فِي سَرْدِ أَسْمَائِهِمُ الْخَارِجَةِ. And I'm not going to waste your time. وَلَا أُضِيعُ وَقْتَكَ. I'm not going to waste your time. As-samina, your precious time. فِي سَرْدِ أَسْمَائِهِمُ الْخَارِجَةِ. In mentioning their void, their useless names. Sard is actually mentioning or presenting something. So fi sardi asma'ihim, presenting their names that are even fariga, that are void. Farig is for something to be empty. Here, to be empty of importance. Man, it doesn't have any importance. Those people, they are not worthy of being mentioned. So that's what he says. He's not even going to list their names for us. Then he says that these people who were competing, that's those people he's talking about. وَهُنَا رَأَيْتُ مَا أَبْكَانِي. And here I saw something that made me cry. فَقَدْ سَدَتْ فقد فسدت أخلاق المسلمين في هذا العصر. The akhlaq, the characters of the Muslims have become corrupt. Fasada, for something to corrupt. It was corrupted. في هذا العصر, in this era. فشا فيهم الفجور. Fasha is for something to become widespread. So fujur is immorality. So immorality was widespread among them. وَأَمَّتِ الْخُمُورِ. And alcohol was prevalent. Ammat is for something to become general, for something to become very common. Everywhere you see, you go, you see it. It is very common. Anywhere you go, you see it. That's amma. So ammat al-khumur. Alcohol was very common. It's very accessible. Anywhere you go, people are drinking or selling alcohol. Then he says that وَكَثْرَةِ الْمَلَاهِي. And then Malahi is amusement centers. Okay, it's places where you go and then amuse yourself. Whether those kind of things, you can mention them. They were they were many, they got many. وَأَقْبَلَ النَّاسُ عَلَى اللَّهُ, and people turned towards lahu, entertainment, وَاللَّعِب, and play, وَالرَّقْص, and raqs. Raqs is dance. وَالْغِنَى, Gina is music. فَكَأَلَّمْ يُبْعَثْ نَبِيٌّ, as if a prophet has not been sent. وَلَمْ يَنْزِلْ كِتَابٌ, and a book has not been revealed. A book has not been brought down for them. As if there's no Quran. وَالنَّاسُ فِي الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ, and as if people were in the age of ignorance before the prophet came, those time, the period of Jahiliyyah. وَكُنْتُ أَذْكُرُ قَوْلَ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى, and I used to mention or see or remember. Zakara, it can mean to mention, it can also mean to remember. So Zakara yazkuru, it can mean to mention, it can also mean to remember. So وَكُنْتُ أَذْكُرُ, and I used to remember, here it means to remember, قَوْلَ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى, the word of Allah Azza wa Jal. وَإِذَا أَرَدْنَا أَن نُهْلِكَ قَرْيَةً, when we wish to destroy a city or a village, أَمَرْنَا مُتْرَفِيهَا, we command them mutraf. Mutraf is those who are affluent, those who occupy the big position, those affluent people, they are called the mutraf. Okay, so Allah says he command them mutraf. فَسَقُوا فِيهَا, and then they go away by causing corruption, man, going against it. فَحَقَّ عَلَيْهِمُ الْقَوْلِ, and then the qawl, the word of Allah, manifest on them. فَدَمَّرْنَاهَا تَدْمِيرًا, and then we destroy them with ultimate destruction. وَأَخَافُ بَطْشَهُ, and I fear his grabbing. Batasha, it means to grab someone. Inna batasha rabbika lashadid. You see, when someone has been, committing a crime towards you, or someone has been causing you trouble, and you have always been letting the person go, one day you grab the person. Okay, you grab the person. That is batasha. To grab someone, not necessarily grabbing and releasing, but you grab and then punish. So that is batash. Okay, وَأَخَافُ بَطْشَهُ, when I fear his grabbing. وَفِي أَهْدِ مُحَمَّدِ الشَّاعِ, and in the period of Muhammad al-Shah, 1121, 1121, بَلَغَ السَّيْلُ الزُّبَى. The sail is the water. So the water reached its climax. Okay, a sail is the water, and zuba means climax of something. When it's used for water, it means the elevated place above the water line, where if the water should reach there, it has no place to go than to flood the place, to overflow and flood the place. So balaga sayru zuba is an expression which is used to mean things got enough. The manner their immorality got to the apex, where they shouldn't be forgiven again. So that's what he's saying. وَطَمَّ الْوَادِ عَلَى الْقُرَى, another expression. And then the wad is the valley. So the water of the valley, طَمَّ عَلَى الْقُرَى, it engulfed the city, it engulfed the village. Tamma is to engulf. فَبَعَثَ اللَّهُ عَلَى أَهْلِ الدَّهْرِ إِبَادًا, and so Allah sent on them. Allah did it. Took an action. What did he do? بَعَثَ عَلَى أَهْلِ الدَّهْرِ Ibadan, Allah sent upon them slaves. They fought them. Uli basin shadidin, they had severe vengeance, severe power. Fajasu khilal al-diyar, and then they penetrated deep, in and around, through their homes, through the homes. Jasa, it means not just to enter, but to enter in and around. Then he says that Ja Nadir Shah Sanata. This Nadir Shah is also a very prominent person. He came, Nadir Shah. He was an Iranian ruler. He was someone from Iran. He ruled, so he was a ruler from Iran. Ja Nadir Shah Sanata 1151. This person, he came in this year, Nadir Shah, from Iran. وَضَعَ فِيهِمُ السَّيْفِ, and then he fought them. وَضَعَ فِيهِمُ السَّيْفِ, it means he fought them. وَبَلَغَ الْقَتْلَ مِنَ الْهِنْدِيِّينَ فِي دَهْرِ 100,000 وَنَيِّفًا, and then those who were killed at Qatla, بَلَغَ الْقَتْلَ مِنَ الْهِنْدِيِّينَ, those who were killed among the Indians, they reached 100,000. 200,000 ونجفا, and even more. نجفا means more. وسالت بدمائهم الشوارع, and then the road, the streets, it flew with their blood. Man, blood was flowing all over the streets. That's what he's saying. وَلَمْ يُغْمِدُ السَّيْفُ إِلَّا بَعْدَ ثَلَاثَةِ أَيَّامٍ, and the sword wasn't placed back in his sheath except after 3 days, meaning he kept fighting them for 3 days. And then he says that وَلَمْ يُفِقْ أَهْلُ الدَّهْلِ وَالْمُسْلِمِينَ مِنْ سَكْرَتِهِمْ. This yufiq is coming from afaqa, which means to rise, to come back to your sense. Okay, to come back to your normal sense. Afaqa yufiku is the verb. Okay, falamma afaqa, like Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, you know, when he asked to see Allah Azza wa Jal, something happened and then he was knocked out. He went unconscious. So when he came back, like when he came back to his sense, Allah says falamma afaqa, when he came back to his sense. So afaqa is an expression, or it's a word, it's a verb that means to come back to your sense. Whether you are sleeping, you were asleep, or you even went unconscious, and then you came back to your normal sense. That is afaqa. So walam yufiq, afaqa yufiq. So walam yufiq ahlu Dahli, and the people of Dahli wal Muslimin, and even the Muslims, they didn't wake up from their intoxication. Despite this fighting, they were still doing this. Immorality was still prevalent. فَجِتَمَعَ عَلَيْهِمْ الْمُرْحَةَةُ وَالسَّكَّةُ. And then this murhatatu is a tribe, and the sakya is also a tribe. So these two tribes, اجتمع عليهم, they gathered upon them. اجتماع أكلة على القصعة, like the gathering of eaters around a bowl. Akela here it means people who eat. It's one of the patterns of plural nouns. In Arabic, plural nouns come on several patterns. One of the patterns is fa'ala, like akela. You have even seen it in the Quran. Ulaika humul kafara fajara. Ulaika humul kafaratul fajara. So kafara there, it means plural. Disbelievers. But it's as if it's one. Okay, fa'ala with ta marbuta is one of the patterns that is used for plural verbs, plural nouns in Arabic language. So akela means eaters. So they gathered upon them. One of these two tribes, they also came and gathered upon them, the people of India, the Muslims in India, to fight them. Okay, like you see how people gather around a bowl to eat. It's an expression. It's telling us how they gathered around them. وَفِي كُلِّ يَوْمٍ غَارَةٌ. And that's what happens. Even today we have seen it. Okay, we have seen it in several places. I won't mention names, but you yourself, you have seen it. You see, when disbelievers, they gather around Muslims to kill them, to cause massacre and genocide. Even today we are seeing it, you know. And I saw one of my teachers, he said something very, very beautiful. That when Muslims are suffering like that, okay, it means two things. One is either the fact that Allah is trying to improve them, meaning they are doing well, and Allah wants to have mercy on them. You know, something can be very painful, but in reality, it's a blessing for you. So like someone killed on the battlefield, it's very painful, the physical pain, but in reality, it's something that is a blessing. So that's one thing. The second thing is that it's either the Muslims are sleeping, they are not doing things right, and Allah is trying to wake them up by letting such afflictions affect them. So two things. So which one do you think will be? You know, look at what is happening. It's like we are sleeping. Muslims are sleeping. You know, we need a lot of work to still do. You know, so it's a wake up call. So certain things are happening in several parts of the world, and Muslims are being tortured and massacred. But we are still sleeping, as if we are not trying to put things together. Subhanallah. And so that's what he's saying. وَفِي كُلِّ يَوْمٍ غَارَةٌ. And in every day there was gara. Garatun means invasion. There was invasion. وَنَهْبٌ, and looting. وَسَلْبٌ and robbery, وَإِرْهَانَةٌ and humiliation, وَجَلَاءٌ and evacuation. Jala, evacuation, to evacuate someone from their homes, to expel them. Okay. فَخَرَّبَتْ قُرَى كَثِيرَةٌ and several villages were being destroyed. وَهُدِّمَتْ مَسَاجِدُ ذُكِرَ فِيهَا اسْمُ اللَّهِ كَثِيرًا and several masajid in which the names of Allah have been mentioned, they were also destroyed. وَعَجَزَ الْمُسْلِمُونَ عَنْ مُقَامَوَتِهِمْ and then the Muslims were incompetent, ajaza, to be incompetent, and muqawamatihim, on their resistance. They couldn't resist them. They couldn't stop them from causing those massacres. They were not. Muqawama means to opposition, okay, to oppose someone, to try to resist someone in doing something. So the Muslims couldn't resist them. They couldn't stop them. وَدَخَلَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمُ الْجُبْنَ and jubn, which is cowardice, entered into their heart. Meaning they were they had some, this feeling of cowardice in their hearts, with khawf and even fear. SubhanAllah. Let's see what happens. It says that هُنَالِكَ رَحِمَ اللَّهُ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةَ الْهِنْدِيَّةَ. There, when that happens, help of Allah came. How? رَحِمَ اللَّهُ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةَ الْهِنْدِيَّةَ. Allah had mercy on this Indian community. فَبَعَثَ لَهَا أَحْمَدْ Shah al-Abdali. And then Allah sent Ahmad Shah al-Abdali, this particular person, from Afghanistan, sanata 1174, in the year 1174. This person, Ahmad Shah al-Abdali from Afghanistan, Allah sent him. فَنَازَلَ الْمُرْحَةَ فِي سَاحَةِ Panipat, and then he fought. Nazala means to actually struggle with someone, to clash, to fight with someone. That is Nazala. Okay, he fought with this Murhata fi sahati Panipat, in the same Panipat. Okay, this field, this place. Several wars took place in this Panipat, this place. Okay, so that same place, he fought them. وَقَتَلَ مِنْهُمْ نَحْوُ 200,000, and then he killed around 200,000 of them. وَهَزَمَهُمْ, and then he defeated them. هَزِيمَةً لَمْ تَقُمْ لَهُمْ بَعْدَهَا قَائِمًا, after which there wouldn't be a rise for them again. He defeated them in a manner, a defeat for which there's no rising for them again afterwards. That's what he's saying. وَفِي هَذِهِ الْأَيَّامِ, and during those days, al-Akima, في هذه الأيام الأكيمة, and during those barren days. Akima means barren. Okay, no one, the city wasn't producing any righteous or any, exceptional person again. So that's what he called it, Akima. Anjabat Delhi, and during those days, those barren days, India gave birth to who? Rajulan Aziman, a very great man. وهو الشيخ ولي الله ابن عبد الرحيم, and he's the person of Sheikh Waliullah ibn Abdul Rahim. فنادى بالمسلمين إلى الدين, and then he called the Muslims to deen, the religion. وانتقد الأمراء الجائرين, and then he opposed, he criticized. Intaqada means to criticize. He criticized the umara, the rulers who were unjust, jairin, unjust. وَشُيُوخَ الْمُبْتَدِعِينَ, and scholars who were innovators. He criticized them. Then وَخَرَّجَ ulama al-rasikhin, and then he produced or he graduated scholars who were very firm. He trained scholars who were very firm. وَالدُّعَاتَ الْمُخْلِصِينَ, and du'at from da'i, the plural of da'i. Da'i is someone who called people to the path of Allah. So he produced da'is who were very sincere. وَصَنَّفَ الْكُتُبَ الْبَرِيعَةِ فِي عُلُومِ الدِّينِ, and then صَنَّفَ, he compiled. Sonnafa means to compile. So he compiled books, very marvelous books, wonderful books, Badi'a, wonderful. He compiled very wonderful books في علوم الدين in the sciences of the religion. Okay, وشمر هو وأبناؤه النجباء الشيخ عبد العزيز والشيخ رفيع الدين. شمر هو وأبناؤه, he and his sons. شمر, I'll come and explain this. شمر هو وأبناؤه, he and his sons, and Nujaba, his noble sons. Nujaba is the plural of Najib. Okay, Najib, which means something noble. Okay, so he and his noble sons, what did they do? Shammara. Now they try to list his sons, the names of them: Sheikh Abdul Aziz, Sheikh Rafi al-Din, Sheikh Abdul Qadir, Wabnu Ibnihi, Sheikh Ismail al-Dafil Balakut, and Sakil Jit. So this is the most important part, and Sakil Jit. Shammara and Sakil Jit. This one expression, Shammara and Sakil Jit, which means to become very important, to become very serious towards something. Shammara actually means to roll up your sleeve. You see, when you are wearing a trouser and you want to run, if you are wearing a very long trouser and you want to run, what do? You roll it up so that your legs will be exposed. You will get the ability to run fast. So that's shammara. This verb is used when someone is preparing to get serious for something. So shammara and sakil jit is one expression which means the person got very serious to tackle a problem. So shammara huwa wa abna'uhu, he and his sons, they got very serious, and they mentioned his sons. Okay, Sheikh Abdul Aziz, Sheikh Rafi al-Din, Sheikh Abdul Qadir, Ibn his grandson, Sheikh Ismail al-Dafil Balakut, who's buried in Balakut, and Sakil Jit. They got serious. Fi khidmat al-Din, he serving the religion. So this was the main thing they got serious for, saving the religion. Meaning he was also someone who had vision, okay, to bring back the country to its normal state, and that is Islamic state. فَمِنْ مُتَرْجِمٍ لِلْقُرْآنِ, for among them were those who were translators of Quran. وَمِنْ شَارِحٍ لِلْحَدِيثِ, and among them were those who were explaining a hadith. وَمِنْ فَقِيهٍ, and among them were jurists, people who were knowledgeable in the religion, in fiqh matters. يُضْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ أَقْبَالُ الْإِبِلِ, this is an expression, يُضْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ أَقْبَالُ الْإِبِلِ. Akbad is the plural of kebit, which means the chest of the horse, the sizes of the horse. Okay, you see, when someone is riding a horse, he uses his legs to hit the chest of the horse. That part is called kebit. That part of the horse, the chest of it, where the person uses his legs to be hit so that the horse will keep on moving faster and faster. Okay, that part is called kebit. The plural is akbad. So yudrabu ilayhi akbad. People hit the chest of the camel to it, to him. Simply mean people travel from far on camels to him for fake issues. That's what he's saying. وَمِنْ مُزَكِّنْ لِلنُّفُوسِ, and among them were those who were purifying people. Okay, the heart, I mean, they were purifying the heart and even the ruh of people. Okay, and then he says that women مُدَرِّسٍ لِلْحَدِيثِ الشَّرِيفِ, and among them were those who were teaching the noble hadith. وَمِنْ مُجَاهِدٍ بِالسَّيْفِ, and among them were those who were struggling with the sword. They were fighting on the path of Allah with the sword. وَشَهِيدٍ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, and among them were also those who were shaheed, they were martyrs on the path of Allah. وَمِنْ مُهَاجِرٍ إِلَى بَيْتِ اللَّهِ, and among them were those who were migrating, people who were going on migration to the house of Allah Azza wa Jal. وَالْهِنْدُ تُبَاهِي بِهَذَا الْبَيْتِ الشَّرِيفِ, and India, Al-Hind, India, Tubahi, they were boasting. Baha yubahi, it means to be proud of something and to brag with it. Okay, they were proud and bragging with this noble household, these descendants of great people. India was boasting with them. أقطار أخرى, with the other regions. So India used to boast with other regions, okay, with these people to the other regions. What to Shidu, and they used to say in a sheet, they form in a sheet which they were saying, and that goes, Ulaika abna'i, those are my sons. So India was saying, those people, they came from me, from India. They are my descendants. They are from me, from India. Okay, faji'ni bimislihim. So come to me with their likes. Okay, bring their likes. Okay, they are telling other countries, these great people that you are reading their history, they are from me. Okay, so you also bring forward your, similarity of them. Okay, similitude of them. Iza jama'atna ya jariru majami'u. If gatherings, if gatherings should bring us together, bring their lives for me. So that's India bragging with it. Here, ya jariru is added to it because this particular whole abiyat is someone's bait. Okay, it's someone's bait where the person is jarir, and then farazdak. Okay, this is a kind of battle between them, and then they are doing abiyat to boast among one another. So they took it from somewhere and brought it. That's why someone's name is here, ya jariru. Okay, but the actual thing is ulaika abna'i faji'ni mislihim iza jama'atna majami'. These are my sons, they are my descendants. So bring their likes. Iza jama'atna majami'. If gatherings should bring us together. Okay, so India used to boast with them, these people. And this brings us to the end of the part 2 of the Al-Manaratu Tatahaddas. And then we come to the end of this particular lesson. Okay, Jazakumullahu Khairan. If anything is not clear, inshallah, contact us. We'll clarify everything for you. Jazakumullahu Khairan wa barakallahu li wa lakum fi Qur'an al-Hakim. Wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum min al-ayati wa zikr al-Hakim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.